All right, take 3. May 11th, 2019. It's a book called Father to Son. Father to Son, Life Lessons on Raising a Boy. Turning a boy into a man is a man's job. Since the beginning of time, it's been up to the father to make his son responsible, kind, courageous, honorable. A young boy doesn't come with instructions. He just comes with boundless love and adventurous spirit, but the journey to manhood begins very early. The first time he looks at his dad and thinks, I want to be like him. Number 1, be around. Man, I love you, son. Number 2, be his father, not just a friend. If you don't understand the difference, imagine his confusion when you're trying to discipline him. Be a good husband, show his mom respect at all times. Be home for dinner. Be his hero. When it comes to little boys, treasure your time with your son. Teach him to keep a secret. Show him how to eat an Oreo. This is a skill that will serve him very well his entire life. Set a strict bedtime. As he's growing up, boys need their sleep. Teach him that he's never too old to take a nap. Take him for walks and introduce him to the world of bugs. Read to him nightly. He'll love it. Don't let him sleep in your bed. Even if he's scared or sick, sleep in his own room or on the floor. Make an effort to give up drinking and smoking. If he never sees his dad drinking, it will hold less mystery for him. Teach him how to plant a flower. It involves 3 things. Boys love dirt, digging, and water hoses. Teach him to ride a 2-wheel bike. It means freedom, and jog alongside of him. Accept the fact that he might play with dolls. It's no big deal. Yeah, ask him what he did today and listen. Take him to an amusement park, ride the rides. His mom wouldn't think of going on. At some point, of course, neither will you. So, strike while the heart is healthy. Encourage the joy of learning. Teach him how to dial 911 and why. Buy him something to hang from, a jungle gym or parallel bar, just something to hang. Show him how to throw a punch, then raise him to never start a fight, and teach him to walk away. That's exactly what I taught you. That's awesome. Okay, take him on hikes and show him how to find a stream. Let him get wet and dirty. Display his artwork in your office. Even that weird ashtray thing. Let him hang out with you. Remember, he has a need to be around you, to learn, to being what a man is all about. An unhappy boy is often one who is hungry or tired, or both. Turn on the TV, turn on the lights, give him a flashlight, and make up stories at night. He won't be able to get enough. Meet him for lunch at his school. Talk to him about what he has learned. Talk to him about drugs and alcohol early, about 5 years old and up, because if you don't, somebody else will. Eat breakfast with him. Show him how to clean his room. Little boys don't learn this by osmosis. If you buy him Superman pajamas, count on him launching himself off the counters, chairs, bunk beds, and sometimes onto you. Show him how to call you at work. Then take his calls forever. Teach him magic. Teach him not to litter. Remind him often to put the seat up and then to put the seat down, and then to flush. Teach him to throw up in the toilet, not in your bed. Many boys will stagger past 2 bathrooms just to destroy your bedroom. Teach him to return what he borrows. Teach him to learn the joys of chocolate chip cookie dough. Reassure him he won't die if he spills a little blood. Take your son to work with you every now and then. Pay as much attention to him as you do other people in the office. Tell him sometimes you're wrong. Race him. You'll never forget the day he beats you. Give him responsibility. Don't let the TV be the babysitter. Awesome, which I don't, right? Make sure he knows he's always safe at home. Buy him a pet only when he's ready to take care of it. It will teach him to care about something besides himself. Praise him often. Teach him to compliment others. Don't tolerate temper tantrums. Not now, not when he's 15. The world won't tolerate it. Scream at him and you will raise a screamer. Teach him not to hurt others. Don't let him quit out of frustration. He won't learn anything. His favorite game for a long, long time will be playing with you. Be available even when you're tired. Even when the presentation went south. Be available. Encourage him to go barefoot. Teach him to lock his bike. Teach him to be afraid, not to be afraid of animals, but to respect animals. Ask him who his heroes are. These are the people that he will copy. Talk to him about what he wants to be when he grows up, and don't be alarmed by his answer. Teach him the wonder of staring at the moon. Teach him that every life is precious. Help him to understand that his word is his bond, and to remember he'll learn from you. Teach him that if he waters grass, it will grow. Help him to bury his pet. Remember, little boys love their grandfathers. No one really knows why. Without scaring him, talk to him about bad people and what he should do when they approach. Insist by playing outside a lot. It's much healthier than TV and playing computer games. Show him how to do a wheelie. You can practice your 6-step. Will I do some reading? Yeah. Show him how to do a wheelie or a 6-step. Never forget that you can hug and cuddle or kiss your son as much as you want. Remember, boys are like lion cubs. That's right. Lion cubs.
But except we're a bear cub.
That's right, we're bear cubs. They show their affection by hugging, wrestling, and rolling around on top of each other. Don't fight his fights. Never tell him boys don't cry. Ask him why he's crying. Teach him to clean up his own mess. Allow him to believe in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy. Promote a sense of wonder. He'll never stop looking for it. Leave the office early and play with him. Teach him to share. Give him piano lessons. Realize there are some things you can't teach him. Let him watch you shave. This is where he begins to put 2 and 2 together. Teach him to respect authority, but not to be in awe of it. Encourage him to make friends with the white boy, black boy, Chinese kid, whoever speaks a word of English and doesn't. If you spend time with him and his friends when they're young, he won't think twice about you being around his friends when he's older. Teach him the joys of peanut butter and honey. Show him how to tie a tie and how to polish his shoes. Remember the values you teach him now he'll have as a teenager. Check his homework nightly. Don't leave this totally up to his mom. He'll see how important his studying is to you. Even if you can, don't buy him everything. Remember, bullying him is a guaranteed way to raise a bully, which is awesome because I don't do that for you. Teach him how to find his way home. Don't criticize his mistakes. Criticize the lack of effort. Teach him to spit. He'll practice all day, so don't let him spit. Take him for donuts Saturday morning. Let his mom sleep in. Teach him how to use a computer, how to type, how to send an email. Share a big plate of ribs. The messier, the better. Teach him never to be afraid to try new things. Awesome. I pause. Got it. Yep.
Teach him never to be boys.
Cut. Cut. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Start it like this. Read this. Boys in sports, and then go to the next page. And action.
Boys in sports. Don't forget that the point of sports when you're a kid is to have fun. Realize that while he's young, one of your son's favorite things about organized sports is the uniform. Let him wear it to school. Try not to miss his games. A boy loves playing in front of his dad and hearing him cheer. He'll always ask, "Do you see me?" Celebrate after every game. Show him how to put a baseball in a new glove and wrap a belt around it. Teach him how to throw a curve. Take him fishing. Take him to the golf course. Teach him how to play, even if he's 3. Be patient. Remember that little boys get distracted by bugs and dirt and lots of other stuff, even while a game is happening all around them. Yelling will not change this. If you find yourself yelling at him or the referee, take a book to the games and go sit far away from everyone else. They'll think you're a bit odd, but your son will appreciate it.
That's funny. Think about a dad who yells. That's not me at all, huh? That's funny. But go ahead. Go ahead.
If the coach is a screamer, find another team. If your coach, retire.
If you're a coach, retire.
Oh.
I guess if you scream too much. Yeah.
Teach him to swim. If you don't know how, if you don't know how, get him lessons.
Isn't that awesome? I taught you how to swim.
Yeah. That's why we're going to the pool after this, right?
Yep.
Gonna go swim around. Show him how to lift weights. I do that too with you.
That's right.
Over there behind that beanbag. My reach over there. Take him to hockey games. Boys love the fights. Totally
Oh, is he totally what?
Totally
politically.
Politically incorrect, but a fact. Make him carry his own athletic bag.
Athletic bag, that's right. So carry those
Take
stuff.
him to horseback riding. It would be a 15-year-old 3-league mare, and he'll remember a white stallion.
Stallion, that's right.
Stallion. Do not criticize.
Let's see what. Do not criticize.
Do not criticize him after his games. He knows exactly what he did. He needs a father to support him. His coach will criticize him. Practice with him and he will get better. This goes for anything, including math. Don't think he'll turn pro. Other kids, on the other hand, don't think he's destined for a life of geekdom just because he's the worst player on the team. Either way, the odds are he will be exactly average by the time he's 17. Read the sports section with him. Reading is reading.
Right.
Keep in mind of his soccer or baseball or basketball or any game. Team is more important to you than it is to him. Something is wrong with you. Teach him how to lose.
That's right, I taught you how to lose too, remember?
Mm-hmm.
How do you lose?
You lose by not just trying to win. If you keep on winning and the other players feel bad, but don't be like, ha ha, I win.
Yeah.
You could be like, ah,
Yeah.
you still did good. Maybe you can win next time.
Now that's how to win. Now how
Yeah.
do you lose?
You lose by, if you know you're doing good and the other kids feel bad, then you just make yourself do bad.
No. That's an awesome little thought. No, that's not how it works. Remember? How it works is you want to lose the same way you win. You lose the same way you win, which means even if you lose, you're still all happy. It's all good. It's just a learning lesson.
Teach him how to win. Do not tolerate bad sportsmen.
Don't teach him bad sportsmanship. That means when you're being mean around other sports
in
people.
him. If you do, it will stay with him the rest of his life. Tell him no pass, no play. Even if he misses the regional soccer playoff. Teach him that just because he isn't the best doesn't mean he can't enjoy it.
That's right, son.
Accept the fact that he may not be a quarterback. He may be a tuba player, and a fine one at that.
Awesome. Okay, you did it. Okay, stop. And then cut. All right. All right, let's get back in. Boys and spirituality. Back from the jacuzzi, eh? Remember, your primary duty as a father is to develop your son's spiritual well-being. Exactly. It's awesome, man. Can't even tell you. Teach him the difference between being lonely and being alone. Teach him that success in the face of adversity is the greatest success of all. Teach him that self-esteem can only be achieved by achieving. Talk to him about God, about Jesus, about Moses, spiritual leaders. Start this when he's young, and he won't be shy talking about it when he's a teenager. Remember, if you can't talk to your son about God, then you've never really talked to him at all. Take him to Sunday school or to Hebrew school or religious school. He'll say that he doesn't like it, but one day you'll notice you have an outstanding teenager who still says he doesn't like a religious school. Pray together as a family. Then teach him to pray on his own. When he's confronted with a serious problem, encourage him to ask God for help, and ask God for solving it. Teach him that God answers every prayer, sometimes with a no. Teach him God can be trusted. Teach him to pray for his enemies. Teach him to believe that as he gives to the world, so the world will give back to him. Teach him to give anonymously. To give anonymously. Remember when we put that blanket on that homeless guy sleeping and then we just left?
Yeah.
That's anonymous. We gave anonymously. He didn't know who gave him that blanket. You know what I mean? Teach him to treat each other or treat each day as holy. Show him how to meditate. Teach him how to have self-pity. No, teach him that self-pity. No. Teach him that self-pity is a waste of time. That's like the victim role. Remember, we never do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you're in the video. Scoot that cute face up in here. All right. There you go. Stretch. Okay. Teach him forgiveness. Teach him that forgiving someone is not a weakness, but the height of selfishness, because it makes you feel so much better. But the height of selfishness, because it makes you feel better. Boys and money. Give your son an allowance based on his age and chores that he performs. Realize that he'll always want more. Teach him how to negotiate and raise. Buy him a wallet. Teach him nothing is free. Never be afraid to say, we can't afford it. Teach him that if he wants something bad enough, that is a good enough reason to go to work. If he needs it, loan him the money. Make him pay you back. Teach him to save. Help him open a savings account. Teach him to wait for sales. A young boy loses things. A teen who loses things and then does without learns not to lose things. Teach him that you don't have to spend a lot of money for a good haircut. Teach him that if he can't buy the best, buy the best value. Help him buy a small amount of stock with his own money when he's 12. Think how rich he'll be if he keeps that up in 50 years. Teach him to pay his own bills promptly. Teach him how to read a financial page. If you don't know how, learn with him. Insist he get a job by 15. The fact that he doesn't like it is the last reason not to do it. Show him how to write a check and balance a checkbook. He'll say he knows how, but he really doesn't. Teach him how to make a bet that he can't. Teach him not to make a bet that he can't pay. Show him how to return something to the store and get his money back. Teach him how to use a credit card only in emergencies, then give him one. Teach him to never pay list price for an automobile. Boys and girls with a heart. Wow. Let your son know that you're as confused about women as he is. Be sure to meet his girlfriends. Remind him that it doesn't matter if she doesn't have a curfew. He does. Treat his girlfriends with respect. Make sure that he does as well. Don't embarrass him when it comes to girls, although often you're just being alive with you just being alive will be embarrassing enough. Still, when he goes to parties, have no qualms about calling to see if the parents are going to be home. When you drive him to dates, make sure that he gets out of the car and gets his girlfriend. You'll be amazed how many boys still think they can just hook and she'll come running. Do not read the notes that he puts in his desk. Talk to him frankly about sex and your expectations of him. Hug and kiss his mother in front of him, or at least show respect. Never criticize a mother in front of him. Never. Teach him to compliment his mother's cooking. Realize you can't mend a broken heart, but you can comfort it, however. Encourage him to ask out that girl. Older boys. Remember that older boys don't have babysitters. Teach him like an older boy. Teach him to set goals. Start small. For many teenage boys, just setting the alarm clock is a goal. Teach him how to wash and fold his laundry. Remind him that school isn't a place for self-expression, it's a place to learn. Show him high school yearbooks so the both of you can know how goofy you looked once. Drive him and his friends to the movies. It's a way of learning who his friends are. Let him earn your respect. Talk to him about his dreams and about yours. Let him fail so he can learn. Teach him that he can learn as much from failure as he can from successes. Teach him that there's a direct correlation between studying and good grades. When you study, you get good grades. It's kind of funny. It's as simple as that. But teach him that most everything is okay in moderation, including moderation. Listen to him when he talks all evening if that's what it takes. Remember, he's watching you and how you treat your dad. Give him responsibility. It separates the boys from the men. Don't defend stupid actions. He'll learn to get away with them stupidly. Hold him accountable. Teach him to respect books. Teach him how to barbecue a steak. This is a rite passage. Make him laugh and exchange jokes. Hug him before bedtime every night, even when he's 18. Tell him often that you love him. Make sure he spends time around his aunts and uncles, cousins, grandparents. He may not like all of them, but he'll develop a love for the family. Teach him to channel his anger. Teach him that the only way to conquer fear is to walk through it. Remind him often that he's capable of changing the world. Teach him tolerance. Remember you asked me earlier how come I don't really get mad, right?
Yeah.
Tolerance. Tolerance means I can tolerate it, which means it can come my way and it won't really mess with me. Interesting. So teach you tolerance, right? How to not let things bug you. When he's done something wrong, confront him immediately. Don't worry about hurting his feelings, but after you chew him out, it's time for you and him to just get over it. Don't hold a grudge against him. Teach him how to value wisdom. Unfailingly be kind. Try not to criticize him in front of his friends. Make sure his friends know that alcohol and drugs are not welcome in your house. Put a computer in his room, never a TV. Let him buy his own stereo. Don't be alarmed at his music. Remember, your music terrified your parents. Don't adjust the house to his moods. Let him adjust to yours. Teach him to be on time and to call if he's going to be late, always. Teach him the secret of solving even the most complicated problems is to just begin. The secret to solving all problems is to just start, just begin, right? If you taught him not to get a car, if you've taught him not to get a car driven by a drunk, he won't. So don't get a car if someone who's driving has been drinking. Teach him to wear a seatbelt. Talk to him often about college. At dinner, talk about politics, science, religion. What he did at school that day. Sometimes you will just have to talk to your son about things that will upset him. Friends using drugs, his behavior, and so on. This is where a father earns his money. Raise him not to tolerate alcohol and drugs at parties and to refuse them if he's offered them. Tell him that that does not mean that he's a loser. It just means that he's smart. Don't dismiss any dream of his as being too big. Tell him that jealousy serves no purpose but to make you feel bad. Teach him what is important in life. It's not a car or a stereo or anything. Allow him to wear your clothes, shoes, socks. Soon they'll fit him. It's okay. When you can no longer find any of your clothes, start borrowing his. Teach him that no possession is ever worth stealing it. Teach him that there's no times to stay between the lines. Teach him that there are times to stay between the lines, like on highways. Teach him to roll his car windows up at night and lock the car. Teach him to give things away. Teach him that men do clean up the kitchen as well and the house, and they clean every day. Until he graduates, set curfews and stick to them. When he's a senior, make it more lenient curfew, conditional upon his grades. Encourage him to participate in some kind of community service. This is where the giving back begins. Teach him to buy his mother holiday gift cards. Encourage him to run for student government. Teach him how to look at someone in the eye and shake their hand firmly. Good to meet you. I love you. Let him face the consequences of his own actions. They are the best teachers. Teach him patience, kindness, tolerance. And if you don't, many years from now, you'll wish you had. Teach him nothing that he ever does or is going to do is worth lying to you about. Expect excellence. Teach him how to stand up for what's right, even when something else thinks even if someone else thinks he's wrong. Even if I think he's wrong, teach him to stand up for what's right. Here, what's that? Okay, all right. Teach him that every action has a consequence. Never ever permit him to talk back to you or his mother. This will teach him respect. Monitor the movies and the TVs that he watches. This means that you have to monitor what you watch. Be prepared to answer difficult questions without editorial comments. Teach him how to drive downtown, how to drive in the rain, and how to drive in the snow. Condition his use of the car upon his grades. He'll become an Einstein. Show him how to pump the gas and check his times. You would think he knows, but he doesn't. And check the tires. You would think he knows, but he doesn't. Lay down strict laws about drinking and driving. Enforce them religiously. If he's guilty, do not take his side. He deserves what he's about to get. This could be an opportune time for him to learn about apologies and being cool under pressure. If he does come in smelling of alcohol, throw the book at him. But that's the only thing. If he cheats and gets caught, let him suffer the consequences at school and or at home. Teach him to floss. Buy him deodorant. The whole house will smell better. Show him how to shave with a safety razor. Don't get freaked out over long hair. Draw the line about stupid hair. Long hair's cool. Mm-hmm. Know the difference between normal teen behavior and questionable teen behavior. Learn and accept and live with your normal teen. Teach him that trust is like a fine china. Once it's broken, it takes a long time to put back. Don't issue an ultimatum you can't live with. Have a punching bag in the garage. It absorbs a lot of sibling rivalry. Teach him how to stand up straight. Teach him that there's a lot of humor, even in a minimum wage job and money. Teach him that there's honor, even in a minimum wage job and money. Tell him to call his boss if he's going to miss work or be late. Believe in him. Remember, teenage boys like looking at themselves in the mirror. Every now and then, ask him if he likes what he sees. Do some pull-ups and push-ups together. Show him how to gargle. If you don't, your bathroom could be irreparably harmed. Realize that you can't be everything to him, but do your best. Teach him the joy of finishing a job. Teach him that the world will judge him by his action, not his intentions. Remind him to be on time. The world doesn't operate on a teenage time. Don't tolerate his moodiness, and you won't have moods to tolerate. Teach him that rules, even dumb rules, should not be broken. Make time to be alone with him. Take time to show him how to apologize. Saying sorry is not the same thing as saying I'm sorry. So in other words, you say sorry, you just really have to mean it, from your heart. But we talked about that. Tell him to chew with his mouth closed at all times. Show him how to eat with chopsticks, as well as a knife and a fork. If you go on a business trip, call him. He misses you. Show him how to change a tire. And if you don't know how, get someone to teach you both. Teach him that reckless people usually end up doing more damage in others than themselves. Teach him that the true independence means that he pays. Assure him that having a clean room doesn't make him a nerd. It just means that he can now find his stuff. Encourage him to trust his instincts. If he feels somewhat unsafe, he probably is. Realize that if you do something once, he might think of it as a tradition. Boys are really weird that way. Be careful in everything you do in front of your boy. If he's been up late at night and sleeps past noon, wake him up and give him something to do. Teach him that the only constant thing in life is change. Teach him not to judge a book by its cover. Teach him to read the instructions. Teach him that it's possible to work too hard. Teach him that the solutions to most problems isn't a pill. Do a 6-step. Teach him that there's no harm in failure, but in a failure to even try. Teach him how to use a hammer and a screwdriver and a saw. Teach him not to burn bridges. Teach him to treasure his friends. Teach him to ask for help. Show him how to read a map. Teach him how to be kind. Teach him that he is the change. Teach him that he is in charge of his own what?
Thoughts.
Oh, good work. Which makes him in charge of his what?
Destiny.
Awesome. He already knows that. Ooh. Teach him that he's in charge of his thoughts and destiny. Teach him that there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Teach him how to iron his clothes. Teach him not to hold on to anything too tightly. Teach him that appearances do matter. Teach him to reach for the stars. Promise you'll always be there for him. I promise you. Kiss my cheek. Tell him to never give up. Teach him to call his mom and dad. And in the end, let him go and become the man he needs to become. Awesome. Father to Son, Life Lessons on Raising a Boy. Love you, son. Give me a hug. That's right. Oh, no, I'm scared. I'm scared of no kiss from your daddy. I told you don't be getting your kissing your daddy. Alright?
Oh, I do.
Alright. That's how you do it. Alright, let's get the seven around the seven. Right here. Okay. Now, we're going to read this book. Father to Son, Life Lessons on Raising a Boy. Father to Son. The 5 keys. Turning a boy into a man's job. Turning into a... We're going to start right. Alright. Take 2. So. Oh! Gotta get it right. Here we go.